Hi. Yes, I'm that guy. The last one standing between you and your lunch. But bear with me over the next 10 minutes while I'll walk you through how we are changing and transforming how we handle software generation. So let's start by asking why are we talking about IoT in this kind of forum, okay? Because it's all about AI today, but IoT is actually 25 years old, okay? We believe that digital transformation is a key into EDP strategy, and it can help us not only increasing operational efficiency, but also reducing costs and automating workflows. Digital transformation is powered by data, okay? And that's why IoT is important. As we saw throughout this morning, it's not only about technology, it's about the process and our ability to combine technology with the human in the loop to create smarter processes. When we talk about distributed generation, like we have here, the word distributed means a lot. It means that we have different locations spread out across different regions. Some of them are in the restricted areas, remote locations, so it's expensive to send people to the terrain. Okay? So we have to come up with a solution that leverages not only IoT, but other technologies, so that we are able to collect, process, and stream large amounts of data in a secure and scalable way. As EDP operates globally, since Houston to Singapore, Australia, China, we rely on partners like Innowave that cannot only bring value to the table and help us improve our solutions, but also helps us on supporting and maintaining our operation 24/7 across the globe. Keeping our standards on operational efficiency, real-time data visibility, and of course, security by design. Okay. So digital transformation. What does it live from? Okay. What is the thing that powers digital transformation? At EDP, we believe that digital transformation is powered by data. Data is the new oil of our era. Okay. So we decided that to get this data, we had to do it in a standardized, global way in order to make this technology available for all teams, all business inside EDP. So roughly 2 years ago, we started our own global platform with the aim of creating services that can lead to value propositions for all platforms inside EDP, all based on 3 simple principles: real-time data, interactive digital twins, and of course, AI. We had to start somewhere. So we have many operations at EDP. We found out that the most promising one, the one that we can actually change and have an impact on, was distributed generation. We talked with the teams across the world, so teams from Singapore, from Brazil, from Portugal, and tried to understand how they operate, what was the biggest limitations, concerns, in the end of the day, what was the biggest pain points. Okay? And we came up to these 3 ones. Okay? So first pain point, no end-to-end data visibility. Okay? So we had different teams operating in the same business, but doing different things. They were ingesting data in a different way. They were putting data in a siloed, department-centric way that was hurting them sharing data between teams. Okay? So it was very hard for teams to share data, and most of the times was done using Excel files or local Power BIs. Second, different teams across the globe were relying on different third-party IoT platforms. Therefore, they were using different equipments, different strategies, different security rules, and so on. Every time we needed to create a custom report to integrate with regulatory companies or other companies, we had to create more custom developments on top of that platforms, therefore increasing the vendor lock-in. Finally, and probably the most important for us, the internal reporting. As I mentioned, data is the new oil, so we need to care about our data. And the solution that we had so far was not making possible for us to share data between teams. And every time we need to do that, it requires a lot of manual work to synchronize the data and make it available. Okay. So as a team, we decided that we need to start where the data is. Okay? And everything starts with the devices. Okay? When we talk about solar, we talk about smarter devices, but also not that smart devices. Industrial devices that talk on industrial protocols. So we need to care about how to onboard these devices into the platform. And we created a single place where any team can onboard their devices using the same approach. We created the concept of pre-authorization so that we can do it in a secure way. Okay? We created recipes for different manufacturers, different equipments that we saw across our teams, so that every time you onboard a device, you are just a click away. Okay? You have a recipe, you just run it, and your device is connected. Okay? Since we are talking about devices that uses protocols, industrial protocols, so we need to translate them. Okay? So the only thing we ask the teams is, tell us the make and model of your devices, and we'll create a recipe for you. Okay? And every time you want to create a new site or onboard a new device, you just have to say how many inverters you have, what are the make and model, and they will be here for you. Okay? Sometimes users make mistakes. So we'll give you also the opportunity to troubleshoot your configuration over the air. And you can redo the configuration as many times as you want, okay, without going to the site. Okay. After we completed this stage, we start receiving raw data. Okay. But raw data doesn't mean anything for the business, because it's just numbers. Okay? So next step, we thought, OK, how can we leverage our data? And we go back to the business and try to understand, OK, so what are your KPIs? How can I translate this data so that it's meaningful to you? Okay, and we created visualization like this. So I can give you a list of your sites ordered by your KPIs, not mine, your KPIs. Okay? And if you want to go deeper, you can go to your site and see even more information. Okay? You can see how your devices are performing. You can compare your devices, or you can even go to a deeper level. Sorry. Okay. You can even go to the detail of a string. Okay? If you know solar, you have inverters, you have strings. You can even detect which string is performing better than the other. Okay? So let's recap. You already have your devices. You can manage them. You can see raw data, and you can see powerful insights. So what was the next step? There was still a lot of human work, because humans have to look to that dashboard and try to understand what's wrong. So can we do better than that? Yes, we can, because we can apply machine learning. We can use AI rules to check real-time the stream of data that you are receiving and tell you what you should do. Okay? So we created this kind of visuals so that users can see alarms that are created in custom rules by you. Okay? But again, we are helping, but can we do more than this? Because it's still, I recommend something to be done, but there's still a human that goes and does the operations, right? So what was the next step? Let's try to avoid going to the field. As I mentioned, field means restricted areas, remote locations, so it's kind of cost-effective problem to go there, okay? So we decided to create the capability to remote operate your assets, okay? So now, on the assets that you can operate over the air, you are no longer required to go to the field. I'm sorry, I'm just going to speed up. This was on the operation side. But again, there are teams that rely on this data. Now that we have all this data and you can remote operate your assets, and the data is available, why not make it even available for the management teams? Okay? So you can explore on your own rhythm the data that you have. And we created the self-service tool. You can go and compare yourselves. Apart from the recommendation engine, okay, you can go and see the data. Okay? You can browse through your assets in a hierarchical view, or even see your assets on a bird's eye view like that. Okay? You can see the map and you can see your assets. Okay? So in a nutshell, our journey started on the other way of the world. Okay? We work with the teams. We bring all the knowledge to the other part of the world. Okay? So increasing the solution. And now we are thinking on putting this knowledge to service in other locations. Okay? We aim to reduce around 70% on power loss due to interruption on power generation that we can avoid with remote operations, and avoid field trips. In a nutshell, we aimed to reduce the time it took to restore an operation, the operational costs, and also increase the visibility of our business. Okay? And we did this all in the last 2 years. Okay. Thank you.